anymore. So OTAs for the Detroit Lions, and we had our guy, Matt Booner, was out there, and he was out there doing it up and doing it up big.
Broder's the man.
Yeah. Matt was out there getting it in, and, just from what he talked about, and the Jameson Williams thing was really the big takeaway I had from what Broder was talking about in there. Spent most of his time going one-on-one with Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
Put him in the mixing bowl a time or two.
He did.
I like it.
No,
I like it.
Obviously, I like it too. Cam Sutton is the guy that's going to be the number one corner on this team. From what Broder said, it seemed like Cam Sutton held his own most of the time. But as the year goes on, as Jameson Williams gets more reps, trusts that knee more, I think he's going to consistently beat corners like Cam Sutton. And the fact that he embarrassed him on one play, I like it. I think it's a big deal. And another thing that Broder said about Jameson Williams is his ability to plant and change directions is elite. And I like that a lot too. To me, I had never seen anything quite like Jameson Williams in college, both as like a speed guy, as an over-the-top guy, but he was also a very, very polished receiver to me. That's why I think he can be as great as he is. That's why I think his ceiling is something like what Jalen Waddle was last year. And the fact that we're seeing flashes of it in camp, I think it's a big deal. I think he's going to be huge for this offense when he gets back on the field.
But yeah, so that was one of the big takeaways that we saw. Jahmyr Gibbs, as on brand as what we expected, was kind of featured all over the offense, running back, slot, X receiver as well. So again, on brand for what we were told, and it looks like that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, there's no scenario in which Jahmyr Gibbs is a good pick, but he also doesn't play all over the field. What kind of struck me is that he spent some time at X receiver. I was thinking more he was going to be a running back and a slot guy, but especially with Jameson Williams missing 6 games, I do kind of question a little bit of their wide receiver depth at the beginning of the year. If Jahmyr Gibbs can actually be effective as an X receiver in game, and they can create matchup problems with him going against DBs or linebackers, it's huge for this offense. The fact that we're already seeing it in OTAs, I think it's a big deal. I really like to see that.
What do you got? Spemo?
Nothing. I'll tell you later.
Oh, okay. Oh, man, I bet it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
All right. Julian Okwara is coming off the edge more than playing linebacker. So this is just, when I read that sentence from the observations about Okwara, then I think that the Lions are probably okay with where they are right now from the edge position.
I would
Either
say
that
so.
Or they're giving Okwara the first audition for it, and then if they have to go to market, they will.
Sure, and Julian Okwara, when he's played at times, has showed flashes of being a very, very effective player. And the fact that we're seeing it in OTAs, I mean, to me, Julian Okwara, if he gives you anything, if he gives you maybe 5 or 6 sacks on the season and effective play from the edge rusher position, I would almost consider that a bonus. I think the edge rusher position is one of their strongest already, not even factoring in Julian Okwara. When you factor in his brother Romeo, maybe Charles Harris gives you something, John Kaminsky, obviously Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston. So if Julian Okwara can actually be an effective player and stay healthy, this could really, really do wonders for this Detroit Lions defense. This edge rusher position could be one of the stronger ones in the NFC, at least, if everyone hits their ceiling and stays healthy.
The write-up on Jack Campbell, and again, this is from our old Matt Broder, who's out there at the OTAs, was out there at the OTAs. Jack Campbell doesn't look like a rookie. He looks like a beast. There was a play that started near the opposite end zone where Jamar Jefferson, he's still with us, huh? That's cool.
Yep.
Broke past the second line of defense and sprinted to the opposite end zone. Campbell chased him the entire way, even after the play had been called dead. Never caught him, but was right there with him every step.
Yeah, and Matt Broder also used the word heat-seeking missile describing Jack Campbell, which I thought was huge. And that's the thing. When you saw him play at Iowa, you saw that he had a nose for the football. And I said before the season that he is going to be the best linebacker on this team from day one, or at least he should be. And that's given the fact that Alex Anzalone had a good year last year. Malcolm Rodriguez was an objectively great rookie linebacker last year. So Jack Campbell, seeing this seems on brand to me. This restores a lot of my faith, or confirms a lot of my faith, that Jack Campbell is going to be the real deal from day one, and at the very least play like a veteran, not like a rookie.
Graham Glasgow, why this is relevant here, I think, too, especially the way we've talked about Frank Ragnow as of late. A ton of work at center with the first team. Obviously, Ragnow with the toe situation, practice time's going to be touch and go, I would imagine, probably the rest of the season. Vaitai seemed to be the one filling in at right guard when Glasgow was in at center. So good to see Big V out there. Was really coming on, but before the back problems and everything that happened.
Yeah, at this point, at least last year, I'd kind of written off Big V as somebody who could actually contribute to this team later on in this season and the following seasons, because you hear back injury and you think it could be something that could be career ender. But if he actually plays like he did in 2021, and then Frank Ragnow, hopefully he stays healthy and Graham Glasgow doesn't have to play any center, then they're, 6 deep with quality offensive linemen? That's huge.
Amon-Ra St. Brown was one of the last to leave the practice field after getting extra reps from the jugs machine, working on his hands. The Goff to St. Brown combination looked like it was in, quote, mid-season form. Goff finds him all over the field, including with deep pass attempts as well. Goff, and for those of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread talking about like the second receiver, they will in Game 7. They will have their second receiver, number one. But also, two, the Josh Reynolds thing is real, everybody. And they were, it was Broder's observation. You didn't see them pursuing any other wide receivers for this specific reason. The team has all the confidence that Reynolds can hold down the fort until Jameson Williams is back in Week 7. It's proven. They have a nice little thing going, Goff and Josh Reynolds. Again, I'm not concerned. I know everybody wants to shut it down because Jameson Williams is out till Game 7. They want it to alter the way the franchise works. I'm not one of those people.
Well, no wide receiver in the history of the NFL has spent more time playing with Jared Goff than Josh Reynolds. I mean, Josh Reynolds had his career high in receiving yards in 2020 with Jared Goff as his quarterback. In 2021, when Josh Reynolds was added to the team, the offense really stepped up, and Josh Reynolds had over 300 receiving yards in 7 games. And last season, even while missing 3 games, Josh Reynolds was 4th on this team in receiving yards, and I think that if he would have played all 17 games, he probably would have been 2nd. Josh Reynolds and Jared Goff have that familiarity. They have that connection. Josh Reynolds is never going to be elite or even be a high-end number 2 wide receiver, but can he fill in? Can he do that job while Jameson Williams is out? I wouldn't put it past him, especially given the chemistry that Jared Goff and Josh Reynolds already have.
And for those of you asking about depth in the wide receiver room, you forget about TK85.
I knew that was coming. You know what? It wouldn't shock me if he actually makes the roster for the first 7 games, just because they need someone with Jameson Williams being out. I know they have Marvin Jones.
Especially on third down.
Hey,
big third down plays on the road.
He made a couple, and that's, especially against Chicago, that was big time. I never denied that. And
New York.
That's true, but, the folk heroization of Tom Kennedy, that's what always gets me going. Detroit fans love to do that with mid players.
Well, Tom Kennedy is far from mid.
He's worse than mid.
No, he's not, because he was integral of 2 road wins. He was an integral part of 2 road wins.
He also had 8 catches on the season.
Yeah, and most of them were big, especially on third downs on the road to keep drives alive that they ended up getting points on. You can't deny that. You can't.
I didn't deny that, but you can't deny that he had 8 catches on the season. That's
you can try to
irrelevant.
minimalize it, but you can't deny it.
I can deny that he had a couple. I cannot deny that he had a couple of big plays.
You are allowed to try to minimalize it, but you can't deny the facts happened.
That's fair.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know, Sam Flannel.